just about 2 minutes. Hop onto the Rift. See you soon. And we're back onto the Rift. A chunk out there, out of Puerto.
Bit more of an aggressive 5-point that we're seeing, but that being said, it's just gonna be a standard reset. And now with the with Evan dropping the E in the bush, does snuff out the Pantheon there. Gonna maybe look to try to get aggressive vision on this blue buff perhaps, but maybe a bit unsure right now. I mean, there was a recall, so I think they have a generally good idea that Pantheon will be going from top to bottom here. Yeah. And Evan will just go the opposite way. This makes sense, though, because it's going to be harder to path towards bottom, I feel like, especially into Varus and Karma, where you will more than likely have to commit a flash to force a gank.
Yeah. If we look at the bot lane real quick, there's like, they're both hiding in bushes trying to get the first kill.
Oh, wow. Nice timing to take. They're going to actually start on the Raptors. This could set up for a nice level 3 kill on that level 2 timer.
Yeah.
If he actually gets away with this. So really, really nice from Evan. Oh my.
Pantheon will have the info now. Maybe you go and claim red side top, but you kind of have to give up a lot.
I don't know. I don't know if they know though. That's the thing, right? Oh, there's no vision there, and they really it was that split-second timing he took just to get to the Raptors to cross. But it's up to, I don't know if Bitna, Sam, or Yomi did as well, so that's gonna be something to keep their eyes on. You can already see it coming through. Evan approaching that level 3 very quickly. Does clear a lot faster than Pantheon, especially with the passive there. So
Pantheon just starting on that third camp now.
Oh, he's going to be met with a nasty surprise if he walks towards the Raptors there, because you can already see it in the bot lane. Evan is going from behind. Level 2 timers are here.
Mog is low now, but Evan comes in. That level 3 difference. Yomi makes it out alive for now, but first blood goes to Stinky on that Corki.
Trades it out, though.
Yeah, gets that trade. That's their jungle gone. And you force them back a lot. Stinky, you have to be so careful now. Hops the
lethal
shield,
tempo
but it's too
against
late.
it.
You're too low. Bitna gets a double kill bot lane in what could have been a sweep for SJSU.
Yeah, it was good at first from Evan, but I don't know if maybe target selection wasn't the best. They probably weren't sure about going on the Varus there because it was closer to tower, but honestly, that's the character you need to kill. That's the one dishing out the damage, especially with the lethal tempo. And now, because of that, Volperdo was able to take a nice timing towards top and went now the mid lane.
Overextended so far now. Volperdo coming around the back, and you can't escape this one. Blue team, that's the feat of warfare. 3.5 minutes into the game.
Wow. Honestly, that whole jungle exchange could have gone either way, but SJSU on the losing end of it now going to sack the feat of warfare and possibly the bot side of the jungle too, as Yomi is now getting a root on it with Volperdo there. So now pressure is being created, and Evan is going to be a bit behind on the tempo here. Actually, I mean, still has more camps cleared, but I mean, this is going to be some prio for the Crabs missing for sure.
Went ended up using both of his summers up in that engage, forced to use that teleport
Actually,
to get back the lane.
Oh, they barely just get the crab there. Evan was really trying to look for it with Wen. Maybe be able to get the slow, but the shield from the Karma gives him the movement speed, and that'll be a narrow escape. And Evan maybe looking to chase it, thinks twice against it. There's nothing really here to gain.
Still can pressure a little bit, make Volperdo a little uncomfortable, but you are losing out on your camps as well, so you have to retreat back now.
On the bright side, none of the bot side was taken. I think they only lost the Raptor camp in the top side, but that really makes up for the early game clear. So, not the worst trade, all things considered, but that is going to be a few seconds behind in tempo. Looking at top lane, just seeing Kev just getting the nice trades on the Tomerico. This is kind of how you expect the matchup to go. Just taking your slow trades, especially with Camille, and the true damage from the passive. And the Q really, actually, well, the passive's a shield, but, you know, the true damage should be favorable in these early engages until Ornn can really start to build up some of that item, so.
We see Volperdo pinging that dragon now, spawning in like 10 seconds. And it looks like there should be something happening in this bot lane soon. Bidna, Yomi have the wave pushing in a little bit. It's not massive, though. What can you make out of this as you wait for your Pantheon to clear this bot side jungle?
The thing about this Pantheon pick into the Gragas is that when we thought it was going to be a support matchup, we thought the whole point of the Gragas is to counter the Pantheon engage, but because of the reserving the last pick for support, I believe, on that Karma, right?
Yeah.
It kind of sucks into this double range matchup really early on, so the value of it is going to have to be seen later on, especially with the ultimates coming through. Now Evan knows that bot, no prio there. Just going to have to accept that and at least start to clear towards top side. Maybe we'll have an opportunity to move on to Tomerico there, but wait and see. Wen is actually dominating in the mid lane, as we kind of see.
I mean, he has a death too, but got that level 6 first. And we're going to recall now, but still able to push back that way. And get out in time for the Pantheon, who's going to come into an empty jungle soon.
Yeah, but we've seen this picture before.
Evan
Maybe
now, good engage. There's the slow. Can you burn down Volperdo in time? Oh, Saxa gets there before.
Yeah, it's going to be leading to a crunch there, but the rest of SJSU are ready to reinforce. You already see Mock getting proactive and ahead of it. Now, there should be space created for the Void Grubs, because with that, Saxa is actually going to look for a reset again. And Volperdo also has to reset for their first item, so nice window of timing to take advantage of cross-mapping, especially when you had such a rough time in the bot lane earlier. And Kev now on that Sheen, going to look ever more scary with it on the trades there. So gonna have to be some respect shown towards the top lane. You can really see that coming through, and Mock just once again trying to get vision, trying to at least match the Karma rotations or follow it. Gets a nice window for Stinky to farm up and back off. And I'm really looking at maybe these Triforce power spikes from these two people to really change the game.
Yeah. And I mean, SJSU, looking at the gold difference right now, even though they've given up 2 kills, they've made it back in the lanes, in those objectives. Even giving up that Ocean Drake, they've still made it back. They've made it even. So that early advantage that maybe Washington State had kind of going away now. See, maybe as it comes to, you know, the roses, how those stack up. Maybe that'll change, but
more than likely scenario. But regardless of it, we're just seeing Went, I feel like, getting a lot of space and actually looking at a bot roam here. Gets a dash, gets the a chance to toss the root, but forces out a flash, and that's just gonna be a trade you have to accept.
Oh, Stinky might have gotten caught out. Does flash out just in time, making it out alive, but very, very low for him. You have to be a little more careful. Especially Bidna could still kind of push up here. There's no minions to back this up. Yeah, comes Stinky. Gotta be careful. I mean, like, I think 2 abilities kind of taste you out at that point. gets in the tower, gonna recall there, but timing disrupted a little bit.
Yeah, the lack of range is really proving to be problematic in the bot lane. You notice in the top lane, there's also an invade coming out from Volperdo on that timing as well. So really nice cross map to see. Maybe Kevy's got to be a bit careful. He's going to try to finish this out fast. Goes for an all-in, but gets the... Oh, has Spellbook, actually. I did not even notice that. So they don't have Grasp, but the thing is, with the Spellbook, allows them to take the Exhauster and to really stop the all-ins.
Oh, here he goes. Kevy off the wall. Traps Tamerico. There we go. That should be the kill. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. He gets away in time. Kevy even tanking a tower shot there, forcing a recall, but it's not what you wanted out of that interaction for sure.
Yeah, and because that exhaustor really just made the difference there, because now with it can make the TP and have better tempo on the reset here. Kevy not having it on his own has to try to push it in and wait for the waves to bounce back. Unfortunate engage really now as we see everything reset there. Oh, the bot lane.
Here we go. Mock and Stinky now come around a little bit of an unexpected angle, but yeah, that root and the tower burn down Mock to the ground, and it enables Bitna to find that second one onto Stinky. This bot lane looking a little bit disastrous now.
Yeah, the lethal tempo on the Berserker Grease just a bit too much there. Weren't going to try to clean it up, but spotted on the ward there in the tri-bush now. Has the dash in, has the ult, but what can they really do with it? Tries to fire off a Q, but unfortunately blocked by the wave, and that's just going to be another gank from middle just sent to clear the bot wave again, I feel like.
Yeah.
And now looking at them to cover the mid wave here against Soxa, but... I mean, you thought range was a problem in the bot lane. Yeah. I don't feel like against the Hui it's a little different right now, if I'm being completely honest.
You do have the volley bear here in this bottom jungle. Actually, kind of a risky position because there you've spotted out the Pantheon now, so you know at least that's coming. But do you know about the other player there, Yomihime? We saw how working with the Pantheon, you can take some quick, fast kills, right? And I guess we're gonna go for a Drake fight soon here.
Yeah, does have control over this bush, but now gonna be try to explore the tri-bush a little bit there. Sees the Karma there, is forced to back out with the control wards their end. Now the problem is, I feel like you really gotta wait for the 2 item timing on the Corki. You really gotta wait for the Manamune and the Triforce to come through before it can really start to do a lot of damage. But against Bitna right now with this early lead close to the Bork there, it's gonna be a bit difficult to really force anything there. And you know, you would think Evan would try to play towards the top side, but the problem is every time Evan has tried to at least sack or come towards the bot side, Volperdo is taking some nice timings there, and you can kind of see it again once setting up in this bush. Maybe looking for a dive here before this dragon play is gonna be patient with it.
Yeah, I hope. Oh, SJSU might just grant it to them. There's the vision from the minions, and that's the cue for them to jump on in. At the same time, Volibear is going to be starting on those void grubs, but is that a trade you want to make? Stinky caught out for sure now. Yomihime gets that kill credit though. Now they'll move to the Drake. Gragas, Mock forced to recall there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see another nice all-in from Kevy, but Ornn is just too fat right now to really do anything into it. I mean, at the very least, 6 void grubs will be granted over, so...
But you're trading Drake and a kill for those void grubs. I don't know how often you want to make that trade, especially when you're down already a couple kills. Cloud Drake slain for the blue side. Evan again taking this top side jungle as Kevy readies for the all-in. Tower dive. Here comes Evan with the ult. Tamerico is still alive for now, and there's the Pantheon ult coming in. Kevy's now in a bit of a risky situation here. You got to get out in time. Can you now find it? Does. Jumps over the wall. Gets the stun.
The Infernal Symbols with the moose
fast though. Can't move faster than that spear though. Volperto daggers him down. And Evan's rooted up now too, so Volperto will be able to jump in for another. Saxa actually finding the last hit, but it's still going so good for Washington State on these engages.
Wow, and this is a bit surprising. You can really see, I feel like a lot of teams against SJSU have always found the early game lead struggle to hold on to it, but we're not seeing that in this case. In fact, we're seeing this team actually capitalize on the leads and punishing some of the mistakes we're seeing with some of the over rotations and whatnot. Explosive cast go through, force the flash is what it is. Really all Mock can do, but maybe he can have a timing on it. No, here perhaps? No, thinks twice against it. I mean, it's all worded, and really, I think maybe SJSU are not able to play the game they want to right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and Stinky's in a rough position here too, where you're definitely at a disadvantage up against this Varus who's been fed a little bit more. Went coming from the bot lane, maybe you can get a gank now. I think that's what they're pinging for.
Yeah, may have a slight timing on this, but Yomi Hime should be here to cover already. And with the bush warder there, I don't think there should be anything happening.
Link goes around the other side though, so it might be a little bit unexpected. Here he goes, steals the Varus ult. There it goes, gets the root. Evan here and Mock at the same time. They're doing damage, but Yomi Hime manages to heal it up off the plant and gets the safety now. Vaperto's here too.
Oh, and it's a pinch from the mid lane from Soxa here. Now gonna try to fight. No. Flashes this out towards the river here. Barely alive. Evan just trying to heal off the red buff. Steals it.
To get it, yeah, but you're still caught between so many players. Vaperto gets another kill for himself. And it's again another engage gone wrong for SJSU.
Honest, a bit forced there. I'm surprised only one died there, considering how bad it looked when they were getting pinched from all sides there. And this is where you're really gonna have to get worried about some of the scaling from SJSU. I mean, the thing is, Corki just barely finished the Triforce here, and now Bitnug just getting more farmed and more comfortable. Should be able to approach the second item soon. It's gonna be a bit tough here. So. And for those ball lane skirmishes that we just seen go completely wrong every time SJSU has just tried to go for them. And really now, I think question mark's going to be raised for the feats of strength here, because at this point, it seems like a third dragon going down is going to be an inevitability unless Mock here. Liz sends him backwards, actually, but he's so fast with the Cloud Soul, gets the stun off.
Up, though. There's the shutdown from Evan. Getting that one is massive. What more can you get out of it? There, Corki finds a shutdown onto that Hui. Saxa gone, down for the count. Still 2 players left in this bot lane to defend the tower. You do maybe get the Drake, I guess. Is that up right now?
No, Drake's not up. Drake's not up for a couple minutes here, or a little, 2 minutes, and now at the very least does get some momentum back into the game, especially for Evan, who was having such a rough time there. But now Orange can take some nice not tower plates, but some damage on the top tower. It might potentially fall here. Could be first tower going over, but you see the rotations actually coming through from Evan. This could be a nice punish here if they can get the timing on it. I mean, this Ornn has been so problematic to kill, but with stun, yeah, it's an inevitability. Just trapped in the Hextech.
There we go.
Ultimatum there, and now that is a nice cleanup there for Kevy.
Kevy this time around, yeah, that Hextech trap will find a kill.
I mean, I will say though, because I believe we did get all 6 Void Grubs if you check the buffs. Yeah. SJSU are probably going to have to play a bit more for the side pressure, and that has to come from Kevy and Went. I do believe, even regardless of how bad some of the early game has gone, they both have a chance to really get solo kills and maybe divert some of the attention from the objectives if the cards are played right.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen Evan kind of enabling this when he is on, like he's on. But it's just sometimes those ganks don't go the way that you want them to. Saxa gets some good damage. Mock there to space it out a little bit. Still takes a ton there. You can't be too careful at this point.
It's been so hard to find value in this, especially against just how much range and map control they have right now. You can already see a 3 piling in the bot lane, possibly 4 here. But Dragon being up now, the question marks are here. Already having prio from the push there, and now should just be a third point going in favor of Washington State. Stinky gonna try to poke him off it, but nothing too much being done. Being a bit slow with this take, probably respecting some of the flanks. Actually, Wen is behind him. They don't have vision on this. This could be huge. Gets the root, but now aware of it. Flashes away.
Actually, Kevy's now here too.
But this is all just a diversion, and the Drakes actually might be oh no, the explosive cast towards the Drake. They lose it, but at least get the kill. And
now you have to flip it around. There's the shutdown. There's the start of it. Evan finds that one. The tower.
But too much damage.
And Bidna actually takes out Kevy.
Yeah, try to death ball into it, but it's really hard into Bitna and the Ornn right now. We're just so damn tanky on it. And, you know, at 1 kill for a third Drake is maybe not what they were looking for. Hopefully looking for at least 2 there, but that's just, I believe, not what you want to see here.
You can't even really look at Rift Herald. I mean, well, maybe Evan does, but they have vision there too. Washington State does, and yeah, it's another one where it feels like SJs, you need that fight to kind of turn it around. I mean, looking at the kills here,
I mean,
they have equalized it a little bit, but
it
seems like they can't get the damage done. And now Evan trapped between 3 players. No way you make it out of this one, right? There's Mock, though, able to space it out again. And so Evan does escape.
Nice movement and
does
flash
get that
on the
recall.
side, but because of that, now bot lane should be free. The tower should go down here. Mockin', oh, I really thought they pushed that faster. I guess not. This could actually allow for some timing to come through, but it is fully warded in the river, so we're going to have to see how that plays out. Yomi and
They
Bidna are
still
actually
get
feeling
the
fully
power
confident.
before they get here, but maybe they lose their lives for it. And that's
Yep.
the best case scenario for SJSU now.
Nice flash.
Here's the engage, shut down from Corky. They're still high health. Can you get this second one? It would be valuable, but a little too much to expend there. Although they do go into this jungle.
Yeah, full sums were committed there by Mock there, so no other option to engage. But Evan now on the chase with the Cosmic Drive. Gets the stun on the Volperdo, forced to flash away. But is this enough? The lethal tempo stacking up.
It is. Went, finds that kill. Saxa does get the root, but it's not going to be enough damage to bring him down fast. Evan getting this red buff is pretty big. And now maybe you can look at that bot tower. Kevi diving down onto Tamarico. Should get this kill fairly easily. Yeah, won't be able to escape this time. No wave though, and Saxa, yeah, a little bit of a threat there. You don't want to mess with if you're Kevi.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even really look at when they got that, but Evan actually had a Dark Seal, and it somehow has 9 stacks on it.
Oh,
You know, not bad considering how things go. We'll see if it goes into a book, but the thing is, with the Volley by Power Spike, with the Flicker Blades and the Cosmic Drive, just so much damage and so much cooldown reduction.
yeah.
And that does become a bit problematic when you're taking these prolonged fights. And with
I think that was his item 1.
it was Cosmic Drive and then the Flicker Blades, but yeah. I actually farmed that out pretty fast. But because of the assist, because of being proactive on the map too, is able to get that up very fast. And I would say they're actually ahead of Pantheon in terms of items and gold. So nice to see here. Nice to see a comeback coming through. And now posturing for this Rift Herald, we see everyone stacking up towards the mid lane there. Volperdo maybe thinking about trying to go on the side, get a little cheeky with it. But I think I don't know.
Both these mid lane towers are really low. So it's basically, I mean, you trade definitely a tower.
Oh, so, and the bot lane went season, but it is respected now. Looking at some of the
pings keep going through though. Now you've kind of been in a little bit of a standstill.
Another
Heavy in the top lane
Yep.
is taking a fight, and that's Ruinous Otacon too for SJSU. That's a lot of
they
roses
got that
to
for
build up.
free.
Yeah, that was fast. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, and the thing is, Kevi is such a problem in the top lane. Having a 2-level lead on this Ornn already with the both items finished with the Titanic and the Triforce, and this might be a problem that Washington State have to address sooner or later, because at this point, it's just bleeding out in the top lane while SJSU are warning a comeback. You see Wentz still confident to facing the Sox against the spare ink swell on.
Wait, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those chains just barely don't connect. So it won't be another kill for Went.
Even
He still can't push in this wave a little bit, maybe.
Yep, and this is just space being created for the top side of the map. Regardless of the kills, if it does go down or not, it does force the Hui to at least address it or stay bottom, and because of that, they're not able to play the map fully. And honestly, it is like what I mentioned earlier. You know, I was looking at the matchups. The only way this blows up maybe is through Kevi and Tomerico in the top lane. Not to discredit the other players, of course. They've been finding some nice opportunities to at least trade back. Maybe not completely what they're hoping for, but getting enough gold in the right hands to buy time and allow for this scaling, mid-game scaling to come through.
And I mean, looking at Kevi, he hasn't even.
Oh, in the bot lane. Now we see Volperdo getting stunned up. But the rest of the team is here to fall. Kevi gets a nice jump on to Yomi. Forces
Here
them.
we go. Wentz here too. Evan finds that first kill on a rampage now. Tamerico falls. That dragon's up now too. Do you go for it after this, or you try and commit, get all of these kills? Evan seems to think that it's all for him. Actually, Bidna might be able to get away
Barrier
from
and
this.
the root.
Oh, Stinky finds the connection.
Oh, and the ult
last
on the
second.
tower gets for the dive. And it's an ace from SJSU
Wow.
to claw this one back.
I mean, you're in the driver's seat now. You just have to extend this lead a little bit. I think you have to take Drake, so you're not giving up that Infernal Soul. But now you're sort of freed up to look at maybe even... Well, I don't know if you can. You have the timing for it. But you can set up for it.
Yeah. And the thing is, SJSU's comp is much better at some of these scrappier team fights with the amount of damage and CC they have. You really look at the other team, the damage comes out from the Hui, Varus, maybe Pantheon, but is so behind against at this point and against the tankier comp that SJSU generally have with the 3 bruises there. Hard to really find value too, so. And the thing is, they have to play a standard front to back, but when their front to back is just being disassembled, it's hard to play together. Evan now
Here's
spawning
another team fight now. Evan first to get jumped on, turns it around quick onto Tamarico. Tamarico manages to get away for now. Here's the Pantheon.
Oh, this could be nicely lined up.
Arnold coming through. There's Evan still alive, dominating. Does get traded out, but SJSU still have the man advantage.
I mean, the
now.
little plane is just destroying them with these abilities. You can see it coming through. Kevy and Stinky melting the backline like it's butter.
And here's Went now.
Another
You
ace.
dive onto this.
Surely.
If you're Went, of course you do. Oh, well. Okay.
If you went,
Doesn't connect.
you went in thinking that maybe he would, but I guess not. Jokes aside, that'll at least, once again, another successful skirmish in the jungle there. And these are the team fights that SJSU always really rely on for these comebacks. And Yomi just getting chunked out there by the missiles and really cannot stop this.
Yeah, you kind of can't deny. Oh, well, you can deny the tower, but you can't deny the damage for sure. It will be a lot of health taken out of that tier 3 mid. Went is going to take this tier 2 bot lane as well. And needs to get out of here a little fast. At the same time, Saxa and Vaperto are coming in.
It feels like I haven't seen a Grand Starfall be used by Pantheon really to get anywhere on the map or to force any plays.
Yeah, I think I miscalled it. I thought it was I called the Ornal as a Pantheon ult, but
yeah, I mean, Call of the Forge God not really finding too. I mean, at least finding the even trade there, but that's the thing. You could see the reliance on being a team there from Washington State's comp really hurting them in the end, because when they're not able to group together, it just feels like none of their champions can really deal with some of the individual fights. You see,
he caught out good. That'll be a quick, easy kill. No punish.
This should be Baron here.
Yeah, and I mean, Baron has spawned now. No Rift Herald claimed for either side. This should be fairly easy for SJSU to take at this point. Kevy and Went just guarding off any aggression that might come from the side of Washington State.
They're gonna try.
Yeah, they'll trade for that tower.
Gonna try for the tier 1 here, but even that could be risky. Vaperto now left alone on their own. We'll be able to get away. Just gonna slip through the bot side. Well, maybe not. I mean, Went is fast on the trail. Actually, nice blast cone to really dodge that. Timing through the river there, but that is Baron giving up, and now that is Evan charging in, gaining space, actually looking for that pinch here. Might have a chance.
He definitely does, though. Oh, he doesn't know about Vaperto, though.
I mean, Went's gonna see him in the bush.
Okay, there we go. That's the bush. Vision acquired. Evan comes around the other side. Saxa, that ability won't claim any targets, so it should be good for SJSU to move in. There we go. Oh, wow. All at once, all the players for Washington State in the bot lane are gone.
Yep, and in the blink of an eye, what I thought was maybe a rough early game is just once again another mid game played by SJSU, looking for those fights to really get their backs into it. And you can see it now facing the tower. Disables it, gets the ult in, but Call of Forge coming through. The exhaust is a lot, but not enough.
The blue inhib gone from Evan, who was actually so far away. I think those Void Grubs there doing work. There's the ace. Should be a finish here. Easy for SJSU, although the start looked rough.
Wouldn't say easy necessarily, but once again, it is always the way that SJSU like to play. You give them a rough early game, and they give you a content-filled mid game. And all I can say is, you know, while that's always the pitfall, I feel like when I watch these league games against teams.
Yeah.
Sound early game, but when it comes to the mid game macro and decisions and even some of the fights they're going to take, because regardless if you are behind, if you trade even, you are still technically getting more gold just because you are also gaining gold back and making them lose gold on the map.
And they also just dominated the lanes. Like, regardless, they had a lot of really sloppy team fights, but they just did so well in their lanes that it just really didn't matter.
I mean, you look at the first 10 minutes of the game, you call it Washington State's, but you look at the last 10 minutes and somehow it's just you find an opening. So next game being on the grass, I mean, production looking at it right now, smiling a little bit as we are too, when you really look at the gold deficit there, and a nice comeback to see.
Yeah. And, well, we'll see if Washington State can make a comeback of their own to bring this to the full 3-game series. We'll be right back for that soon. And we're back, just about to head into Champ Select. We saw SJSU make that crazy comeback there after we thought it was a sure win for Washington State. Will they be able to pull the same magic out this time, or maybe they'll just dominate the early game too?
I mean, regardless of how many objectives did go in favor of Washington State University, you really look at the gold deficit. It was pretty close even in the mid game. You really look at like when there was a 10K to 11K gold league, game being within 2 to 3K gold within each other. SJSU always were able to find the cross map, were able to find at least more farm in some of the areas where they could take advantage of it. And with enough gold in the right hands, in the right people, were able to leverage that into a nice comeback. And that is always the thing you got to worry about. SJSU can be put down, but they are never out of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, even with the disadvantage that they have in terms of objectives, they still equalize that. They went Drake for Grubs and then Drake for Grubs again. And they went down one Drake, but at that point they had already kind of amassed enough gold to negate that. And then they took a Drake of their own. They went for Baron. So
and we're able to get the Otacon too.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a big one that kind of went unnoticed because of how fast it happened among all the team fights.
I think the thing is now people get more comfortable with Otacon. Actually pretty easy to clear if you learn the attack patterns. Kind of a gamer thing to do, pattern recognition is key with the circles coming out and in, and being able to dodge some of the damage. Now, I mean, looking back at the bans, it's always like you win the battle against SJSU, but you don't win the war.
Yeah. And I mean, still, look, Washington State, they're still worried about this Gwen and this Rumble. They, you have to respect those, even though, it might be worth it to take the risk of, we'll see what their other bands look like. It may not be a carbon copy of what they did last time, but SJSU are very, very flexible on those champs. They're able to do so much with so little, really.
If I'm thinking about the last game, I think the biggest issue that was glaring to me is their choice of jungler, Pantheon. He is a very feast or famine character, and those are characters that are always I feel like the worst to play in the SJSU, because you can start strong early, but once it gets to that mid game, if you're not really on top of the game, really finding value, especially because it's such a single target character into SJSU's comp, and you're not really finding those flanks and able to punish it, then that's when it gets really tricky. You see the Varus first pick again on the blue side. Always, I believe, a solid step against SJSU first, because we just see how crazy Stinky is on it.
Yeah.
And now gonna look to counter that with something of their own.
And actually, SJSU
Corki again.
Corki again. They're comfortable with that mirror match. But SJSU banning out the cannon a little bit earlier this time. I think it was their final ban last game.
Oh, Corki volley locked in again.
We may just see the same game again.
It is not fearless, but it is what it is, right? So
yeah.
Now I think the thing is the choice of jungler should change on Washington State. Now volley is just, I don't know. It's one of those characters that are always tricky to really fight against, right? Mm-hmm. Once they reach that 2-atom power spike, they have so much sustain, so much CC, so much shielding, and it's really hard to burst them down fast in team fights. So gonna have to see some choices here. Wukong. Now has been declining in popularity. Typically good against physical damage junglers, but the thing with the passive, the stone skin, but the thing is, it does allow for a little bit more team fight potential with the ultimate, and it does allow for some trickier pathing. So maybe looking to catch Evan off guard with that pick.
Yeah. There definitely was some interesting pathing at the very start of that game, just because of the weird kills.
Oh, and this is Cassante, everyone.
That's yep. Welcome to our new top lane.
Yeah, I don't think much needs to be said there. Pretty good blind pick into Kevi, but the thing is, I feel like Kevi does have enough champions to outplay it, and now seeing the Ambessa locked in, and this is where things get a bit volatile. Now, going to be looking at the mid support matchups here. I think it really determines the rest of the game. The thing about Corki is, I guess we thought they'd be stronger early, maybe not compared to Varus with the lethal tempo, taking the all-in and whatnot, especially with the double range support. I feel like Mach maybe might need to pick something to supplement it a bit more early game, but, was doing their job fine when it came to the mid-game rotations and following some of the set plays they were doing with some of the skirmishes there. And yeah, respect being shown there with the Gragas ban, but that is leaving a lot of other conventional support open. I mean, you're looking at some of the engage, you're looking at enchanters, and those are still on the table.
2 mid lane bans for SJSU. Little bit different on the bans, but largely the same. I think that Oriana was also banned out last game. And also very similar for Washington State. Aurelian Sol this time. I think it was Victor in that last spot in the previous game. So, a little bit different on the bans, but the picks are a lot of bit different. Just those first couple being the same.
Ooh, what do we see here? Yeah, I'm not against the Thresh here for the disengage or Alistar. I think that is the one that, Mach likes to go a lot towards if it's not Rel. Wow.
Yeah, it is the Rel. And so now we'll see what Washington State want to do for their bot lane. You still theoretically could flex Corki in the mid here, right?
It is possible, but I feel like if the way that Washington State plays, it might be not the best if they like to pick control poke mages in that early game. Might struggle a bit against the range, but we said that last game and look what happened, so you can never count them out. Nautilus now being drafted in respect to it, gonna try to keep some of the dive back. You look at Volley and Bessa roll, they have scary dive potential into the back lane. Yeah. There, but they do. That is not to say that Washington State doesn't have the tools to counter. They do have Cassante, they do have Wukong. The Nautilus does have ways to play around it. Now, this is the last pick for mid lane here. What do we get?
I'm trying. I don't think the drum roll would pick up on the camera, but I'm doing a drum roll.
Another Hui game.
Syndra.
Yeah, very, very good choice here. Honestly, is always one of those mid laners that are nice to play. Has stuns, has CC, has good damage with the scaling as well. So I'm going to try to get a bit more proactive with it. And the thing is, I think Washington State like to play alongside their mid laner, or when they make set plays into the other sides, they like to... Okay.
Okay. Victor, all right.
I got a little concerned for a second. I mean, I would let it cook, but...
Yeah, honestly interesting that Washington State banned out the Aurelion Soul here when they banned out Victor last game, and now SJSU does pick into that Victor.
I think I'd rather, I don't know, because ASOL does allow for a lot more other rotations, and I think SJSU like to get prio and then force plays with the wave clear characters, right? ASOL does allow you to fly over the walls compared to Victor, who will have a lot slower of a time rotating, will be at least stabilized and put into the lane. And we'll just wait to scale towards the mid game there. So we will probably cut to a short intermission as we wait for the spectator delay to go on. But interesting draft, could go any way. So stay tuned as we get into game 2.
Yeah, definitely don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And here we are after that little spectator delay. Onto the Rift again. Washington State on this blue side. SJSU up a game in this best of 3 series. Oh,
It looks like a little bit of a DC going on. You kind of see that, how do I say that? Mock and Voperdo not buying items yet, so well, tech pause, you know, it happens in professional production, happens at collegiate level, regardless of what level of esports you're in. So
yeah,
do not worry, this should be solved within a few minutes. But thoughts on the game?
Well, it's pretty gray right now. No, I mean we were
It's gray
talking,
when you die on the death screen.
we were talking a little bit about this draft. It's fairly similar vibes. Maybe the top lane is something to look at this Ambessa versus the Cassante. I actually saw the disconnect out of the Washington State's jungler. So we should see a restart here soon, probably, unless he can get back into the game in time.
I'm just hoping with the Wukong pick, they're able to at least get a bit more proactive early, because it felt like they were able to get the early lead, able to secure the objectives. But when it came to the mid game, we're really finding a hard time to engage. And that might be the nature of Pantheon, especially with the threat of the Gragas engage, Wen and Kev Yi as well. Each of their own having a way to like at least buffer the stun, but not completely, right? Get away from it, or at least punish the Pantheon for it if they force themselves to go all in, because they're not that tanky once they use the E as well. So hopefully with the Wukong able to last a bit longer in those fights and create chaos and havoc that will maybe counter SJSU's.
Yeah.
I would really want to look at the bot lane though. Level 2 engage is going to be pretty key once again. See the Nautilus Varus instead matching up into the Rel Corki. It is hard to say Varus just had a lethal tempo. I feel like Corki did not do as much damage, but target selection also was a bit of an issue in that engage.
Yeah.
Because Evan did have the flank from behind, but chose to go for the Karma instead of the Varus. I mean, usually, I guess you go for that because it's the easier kill, and maybe you think you have a chance, but Karma is also a really, really strong early game.
Yeah, I think maybe if they had gotten the Karma down sooner, or if the Karma was a little lower health starting that fight, then they could have flipped it for the 2 kills there. But yeah, it took a little too long, and you allow Karma and that Varus to get enough damage down to lose that fight.
We would have to see the rune selection, because I believe there was Guardian selected, which is why that shield popped up, but I could be completely wrong on that as well, because Guardian Karma is a little unconventional. It usually goes the sorcery tree, right? Yeah. Comet or Airy, but maybe just Karma shielding was that good.
Oh, and we're going back in, I think. The text is a little small. I can't read it.
I will say, though, we will go back in. It is a bit more cut and dry when you do engage on the level 2 there. You don't really have to worry too much about the Nautilus for the most part. It will just root you, will not deal nearly as much damage as the Karma and Varus can. So maybe that being simplified is also a way that SJSU could take an advantage of it. But the jungle clear in the bot lane was also really, really critical, I think, to how the first few minutes of the game developed. So going to have to see if Evan goes for any more of that, or if they are aware of that from Washington State.
We are in now. Just had to unpause it real quick after all the players got back in. And a little bit less, well, I guess the reason why it's a little bit less aggressive from Washington State posted up in the river is because their jungler Roberto had to make his way over. There is 4-5 players.
I mean, it is
here,
moving on our screen, so yeah, gonna see if Roberto baits this out, gets the ward on there. Oh no, stinky ward. Now gonna try to kill it. Unfortunately, unable to. Maybe we'll go back for a scanner. But yeah, it was a bit aggressive. Once again, we see the bot lane going into the second bush there. Gonna try to get some early prio there. Maybe gonna try to look to get some kills before the lane even starts. This has been a common thing we've seen from SJSU, I think, or maybe I'm not quite sure. It just might be a strat against Washington State, since they seem to like to prioritize that 5-point.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily a 5-point, but having all members present in the jungle. Could be some awareness, though. We're gonna have to wait and see.
It does look fairly similar here. Okay, the shield popped on, so they're looking for an early engage, maybe. They have the knowledge.
But they're too much on the left, and I think they're aware of it. Nothing gonna happen there, and looks like a standard start for the most part. Both junglers starting on the opposite sides of the map here with the early Raptors vision, so should be able to track pathing from Washington State. And we are starting.
Yeah.
Trying to secure the level 2 very fast, but trades going in and out. I still think that Washington State should get it first.
Yeah. Decent bit of poke for SJSU. Mock just tapping on the Yomehime. You can't be... Ooh. Kevy's got the level 2 up onto Tamarico. Tamarico is also half health. It was very possible for Kevy. What happened in the bot lane? We looked away for 2 seconds and Stinky's on 1 health.
Yeah, I suspect the hook was landed into the ignite there, and that just allowed Bitna to toss an arrow there. But yeah, this is a bit of the Dreadblind going a bit down in the depths there, but still, regardless, they're on top of the trade.
Wow. Still, those arrows land on the Mock, so it's not a terribly negative trade.
Yeah, almost.
Heavy has this level 1 level up onto Tamarico, so maybe you do go for this tower dive here.
I mean, the thing is, Ambessa is a resource character. Doesn't have mana, has energy, so we'll honestly, these trades that slowly chip away are much more advantageous for him if he can take it. That being said, Vopeta is finally ready in the top lane. Evan kind of thinking about meeting bottom, but meeting the bot lane in the bot lane, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, this is dangerous trading in the bot right now, going on in all lanes, and Stinky.
Yeah, Stinky almost just got hit by that one too. Level up there, it's even in the bot lane, but Stinky's the lower on health.
Oh, gets the crash down, and the ignite's going down. All in with the barrier.
Don't even need him. First blood for Stinky. He's got to stay alive though, just barely there. Yomihime still here. Can you defend now? Has gone down completely. Saxa was so low, but Vaperto, that gank goes good too, so it's even on the kills. Kevi gets a big chunk taken out by that tower, and so now all of a sudden Tamaroko's in the health advantage here.
Is he gonna challenge on the scuttle? No way, right? Surely not.
Yeah.
Oh, Yomihime actually goes down. Looks like they overstayed their welcome. Got poked and dove under tower.
Oh, wow. And Tamaroko's pretty low on mana here, so Kevi maybe has the opportunity to set a jump onto him here. Oh, it's so low.
Flash.
Low as well. How do you make it out of that? Oh my goodness. Stinky and Mock, both on the crutches of life, make it out back to the fountain just in time. I mean, incredibly lucky from them. Or you know, challenger positioning.
GG too easy. I don't know. Jokes aside now. Seeing a bit the things stabilize more towards the top side, but really, really interesting sequence of events. Still, SJSU come out on top of that, have the chance to finally claim the feat of warfare that evaded them the early game. But we actually see a lane gate potentially coming from Verperto here. Both pushes are warded though, so this might be a bit difficult to challenge. Gets the Dreadline onto the... But the Valkyrie dive should at least create some space right now, but this is a lot of damage being taken. The slow comes through. Crash, I'm gonna have to come through to counter, and yeah, I'm not gonna at least hold off the aggression, but this is just Stinky being forced to reset again or stay.
Could be a dragon again. First dragon gonna go to Washington State. It looks like Evan. I don't. You maybe can contest this. And it looks like Mock and Stinky are ready too. Does it come down to that?
Yeah, I will say also, I didn't realize this, but Syndra has Electrocute, so playing a bit more for the damage instead of the wave clear. When actually getting to level 6 prio, should be able to move faster, and it is going down. Evan is already on it. Arcane Storm coming through, and Bidna has fallen down. The clones are coming through, and the rest of the ball lane are pinching.
That's the first feat of warfare for this red side. Dragon's still up, went chasing that kill, gets the double. Now they go around. Can they find a connection, a stun onto Yonahine? Not in time, it looks like.
Ankles and rotations being broken by SJSU as they just navigate the map better.
Yeah. And, I mean, you deny Drake, and then you also get a couple kills for your troubles.
Oh, the
not landing that
flash from Saxa, too. That has gotta hurt. And this is just bleeding out some of the sums, and the map are already happening in the bot lane.
Vaperto, I think, maybe ping the Drake, too.
There's no way they're refighting the Tomerico, are they?
Evan is a little bit low, but still a level up. Claims that crab, and...
Level 6 advantage is present.
Yeah.
Vaperto's 2 levels down. Because of that, they're still going to force this, and they're going to commit everyone.
And they probably get this Drake now.
I suppose, but Kev is at least... Oh, no, the TP's coming in. Oh, yeah, they just TP back top. Okay.
Yeah.
So, at least finding a timing there, but this is probably not going to be free.
Wow, they might have just lost the damage that they needed.
Oh, this is a smite.
Now.
Smite?
Evan, doesn't manage to get the steal, but Vaperto will fall down. So it is a kill for the Drake. Is that worth it if you're SJSU right now? You're already up, kind of a kill. I mean, it still probably is.
Yeah.
But you definitely are a little bit remorseful that you couldn't claim that, steal it from Washington State here.
Anything that really secured the lead there at this point of the game, but it's not bad to go for it. Try to get a punish. At least does get it for it. Does not give it up for free. But now looking at the top side, and you can kind of see that Kevi is already getting a bit of a dangerous lead. Already zoning off the Cassante from the wave. All they have to do is really just push it in and then counter it. But
Americo got denied the cannon there.
the problem is with both the soul laners being ahead, it's going to be really hard to counter into this Rift Herald. And you can already see that as Wen is already moving over once the wave is pushed in. Maybe actually look for the Wukong. Might get spotted on the ward there, and I think that is the case. No, it does not actually. Oh, it's just a blast cone, but oh, this is a pinch.
Oh, three-way pinch. Went gets the first engage, but not enough damage on his own.
I mean, it's just solo zoning it, and that is a free set of Void Grubs. And the thing is, because of the 2 kills on the Victor, I do believe the Empowered E is already in effect. All in going in the bot lane, but looking a little worse for wear for it.
Root goes down, but it's not the target that you want. You want to burn down Stinky here. Mach starts the engage, but it's not enough. The arrows get that shut down. Stinky's alone now. No minions to back him up. And here's the fight on the
Arcane Storm
jungle now.
crash.
Evan jumping in. Went, finds the kill first. Vaperto should fall down here. The clone takes a little bit of damage for him, but it won't be enough. Double kill again for Went. 4 kills on this Victor now. Evan finds one for himself.
And Kevi went bottom to find Bitna there with the counter TP there. And it's just dominoes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Stinky, don't do it to him.
Oh, he did it to him. All right. Stinky goes in, commits the flash, gets the kill. SJSU on their 10th of this game.
And it's another
so far.
death in the mid lane.
Oh.
I lied.
Oh, well, okay. Went now.
I lied.
At risk of dying himself, to be honest. So you have to back up, maybe recall here. But still, good trade. Get Saxa out of the lane for now.
I mean, the funny thing is, with that whole bot lane interaction, Bitna was level 6 and Stinky was level 4. So that's why I felt confident taking the trade.
Yeah.
And really going for that all in there. But once again, getting punished for overextending. Seen this happen with a lot of teams. And now on that Blackfire Torch win is going to be very scary. First items being completed too for some of the carries here.
Wen has made it to the lane first. Still, actually, this mid lane might be a problem with Vaperto here. You could set up for a double team on him, but did he just steal the Raptors?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man.
That empowered E, I think, doing good damage. Evan's here now to kind of deny any possibility of a gank, but Vaperto's actually moved on to his top jungle.
It's just Chunks, and Chunks socks are just eating.
Yeah. Kevy's 2 levels up still onto Tamarico. Has the flash. Both of them have their flashes. Do you start this engage
Meanwhile, in the
here
ball
now?
lane, another all in.
Oh, man.
By the looks of it, but the thing is, Bitna still maintained a level lead. Vaperto actually tried to...
You died. It was like a gust of wind. There we go. Went dashing in. Gets that kill, but I think should fall to Vaperto here. Oh,
No, actually,
doesn't.
does
The
not.
E is too strong.
I mean, the shield from the Q as well makes it very
Yeah.
tricky, and honestly, Vaperto does not have enough damage to go for it. Tries to get the smite, the flash, the Q, and the ult. Nice shutdown there coming through, but it cost everything. Now in the bot lane.
Man. Well, back in the bot lane, they've equalized whatever goal difference that gave Washington State.
Dive was in the cards, but now forces Tomerico to TP, and that means more level lead for Kev Yi.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of crazy to give.
And
that up.
Evan finds Vaperto in the top jungle, trailing him, hunting the man down.
I think you give up Mock here. Oh, maybe you don't even have to. Maybe Stinky has the damage to make up for it.
I mean, they
Whereas
don't. I mean, it's just 2 tanks. What do they do? Tomerico can deal some damage, but it's not
Yeah.
enough. I mean, the
Mock
ignite
make
comes
all
through.
fast here. There he goes. Tamarico gets that first kill on the Mock. Hop.
Oh, the tower shot coming through, and it's enough for the Scatter the Weak to secure it. And they actually sent their bit in the top.
Yeah. And Bitna, I guess, has fended it off. Well, oh, no, I think they lost a couple plates there in the top lane.
Consolation prize there, but Evan behind on the flank. Does he not go? Surely the bear does not hunt for 2 here in the jungle.
All the info, and Vaperto walks into the bush. There's the stun up, but the clone there now fighting the good
Are they
fight.
strong enough? I guess they are. When is there to drop the Arcane
Stax is
Storm?
gone. 300 gold for Evan there, looking for more. Dodges that skill shot. There's the
my
ult
goodness.
committed.
Oh
Gets
my.
the stun onto Vaperto. Gets the kill onto Vaperto. There's double kill for Evan. Now you're freed up. You can take these Raptors. You maybe even take this.
I mean, I think Midnut's just dead here. No. Oh, never mind. Dredgeline coming through into the tower, and that is a went. Overextending.
Yeah, but SJSU ready to overextend again, maybe. Evan, tower dive here. Looks like it's good. Might die to the tower himself. Yeah, production wants us to say bear rolling.
What's that NPC ass read, bro? I mean, all I gotta say is, yeah, get us out the booth. Nah, all jokes aside, Evan is just, you know, Thunder God against the Monkey King here, looking like the apex predator in the jungle here, and that is you know, showing a bit too much dominance maybe for their own good, but you can still see SJSU are maintaining a comfortable lead.
Yeah.
With the way they're pulling everyone around the map. Now that being said, Roperto does have some nice timing on the grubs finally. But probably a consolation prize for everything else that's happening around the map.
Yeah, I mean, we've given up so many kills at this point. I mean, the lead on kills is, well, it is a little bit worse than it was before.
I mean, you look at Evan already finishing the 2 items with the boots there. So it can be very, very dangerous. We saw what happened last time they already were on the spike. Hitting it even earlier. Actually only goes for 1 to try to deny the objective point. Is unable to finish the rest because there's no prio on the map for them. Yeah. And the thing is, Sox has really just been a non-factor after what Wen has been doing to them.
Wen is looking for trouble here, looking to start another team fight. Maybe Evan can find this engage first. Battling for this frog here. Gets it for himself. That's the upgrade for the jungle pet.
And that is 3-level lead.
Yeah. Wow. And the wolves to boot. There's Went now on the Yomehime. Evan here to back it up. There's the damage, but is it enough? The E comes out.
Yeah, Wukong's
Evan's
coming
still
through.
battling, and Yomehime gets
it.
the kill on the Went. Maybe there was the tower there, but Pedro gets the kill on the Evan. So it's flipped around a lot here. Mock has to make it out. I think should be able to fairly easily, unless Yomehime lands an anchor here.
I mean, let me just say, respectively, these tier 2 tower dives with the tier 1 still up has not been exactly going the best. We've seen it once, we've seen it twice. A little bit of overzealousness coming through, but it is what it is now, and that is a free opening for the dragon because of that.
Yeah, I mean, Washington State have been very good about getting these dragons, especially in the early game. You know, so even down, you know, 8 kills here, they're still putting up a decent fight, down about 4,000 gold at this point.
Well, Kevy is proxying. We'll play DAE.
I mean, okay. So Kevy's gonna reset here, and now what do we look? We look at the bot lane. Ruinous Otacon, I think, should be spawning soon.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a bit more focus on the grubs here. At least we're able to deny the complete 6, but I think SJSU were able to get most of them. And that's still similar games that we saw the last time, but that being said, it is Chemtech Drake, so with the priority and with the plants, it's going to make it a lot harder to really get vision on the map and navigate around it if you play your cards right. Now we're seeing movement towards the top lane here. It's going to be some focus on the Rift Herald here. Perhaps, but it just looks like people are just clearing the camps, clearing the farm and whatnot. And the tough thing is, even though Wen has made a few deaths happen, made a couple mistakes here and there, they're just so far ahead of the Syndra in terms of wave clear and itemization.
Evan's fast here.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, catches up to Vaperdo in bullet speed time. That wasn't a sentence. Never mind. Evan pushes him away enough to get that crab. Maybe you set up for this Rift Herald here. We went unclaimed in the last game. Stinky and Mock low-ish, but Kevy's here to back it up.
Yeah, we've seen this play once before, and now with the crunch from Wen, this should just be death for the bot lane. Yep, misses the dredge line on the wall. That is guaranteed dead. And went with a double kill. Now Evan in a bit of a troublesome situation themselves. Hopped over the wall.
Can you get away from this?
The shields should not be enough. Flashes a scatter the weak, but Vaperdo and Tomeric will follow up, and with the all that is just death. And not going to be an opening to start the Rift Herald perhaps, but I think Wen and Kevy are way too strong.
Here too. Yeah, get that kill on
the gravity field is too strong.
Some damage gone for the side of Washington State, and they push them off the Rift Herald to keep that secure until Evan's up, ready to take that.
Yep.
Good for them. I mean, turning their win in bot lane into a conversion of their loss in the top. Right. Gonna take this mid tier 1. The second tower to go. A bot fell a little while ago. And, I mean, finally, this middle tier 1 is going down. It feels like SJSU has been playing as if it weren't there.
Yeah, I think the biggest enemy of this whole game has been the mid tier 1 and tier 2 towers. So those need to go down as soon as possible. You know, if they want to keep committing towards those dives there. And now we see Mock already setting up early vision for the Rift Herald here, possibly setting up for a dive onto Tamerico here. I'm not sure how doable this is, but
oh, that ward will spot him out. Tamerico got to stay under tower.
I mean, it's actually they're actually flipping the whole map. They're sending 4 on the Wend here. He's actually flashing away, getting all in dough with the Arcane Storm. Bitna barely not burning down, but Volperidol just taking so much damage. Did what he could, but it was a cross map all around, and that is just something that Washington State had to force at that point of the game, because sometimes they'll say I'll give it to the next person and give it double. Now gonna do the same to the Cassante up here.
Not much to say about that kill onto Tamerico, but it will be the top tier 1. That's all tier 1's gone for SJSU. They have the Rift Herald, so I think they do come out ahead on that sort of exchange. Yeah, hard to call it a trade because so much went into it. But still, you maybe give a little bit more room for Washington State to find their way back into this game. You definitely don't want to do that. Now, Itna and Yomihime in this mid lane. They have some vision on this river, and so they should see Evan approaching, but do they know about Mock? Here he comes, gets the stuns. Evan coming in now, rooted up, so it slows down a little bit,
at the last second
is not
so
fast enough to escape this bear. Evan running towards these other players, might get stopped by this tier 2 again, but Yomihime will surely fall before that. Evan gets a second kill for himself off of this play. Both bot laners taken out. And, very well played from SJSU. The spacing there, playing around the vision of Washington State, I think. Yeah, and there's Ruinous Otacon spawning bot lane. Not a real surprise.
Oh, the towers disabled.
Oof. That's an easy kill.
Counter Wukong's command onto the tier 2 gets enough to take him down. The ramp up damage is too much, but Kevy's now coming in from behind. Goes for the shield. Still trying to take the tower down while fighting.
Does go down now. Evan has taken a lot of damage here, though. Tamerico.
Oh, the public execution.
This seems fairly even. But can he get away now? Evan on the hunt. Doesn't find the stun off the ability, but still
there simply is not enough juice.
You can't get away from the speed.
Yep, and now in the mid lane, there should be counter crunch coming through from Wen onto the bot lane. Their Arcane Storm goes out, but there's a lot of damage being returned. Kevy goes in, slashes and dashes, just shredding the rest of them, and all out comes off on the Cassante, barely able to trade that. Now Sox are trying to TP in, but they are late to the party. They get flash and stunned, and they take a spear to the face as the rest of SJSU are ready to pounce on it. Evan now ready to run through the bottom of the jungle, gets a stun, and that should just guarantee the kill as SJSU get an ace on the team, and that should be at least a mid tier 3 coming through with the inhibitor. With the Rift Herald, they can't end surely, right?
With the Rift Herald, you could get Otacon maybe instead of going for the finish. I don't think you can finish.
It's a chem. It's looking for the chem. Are they charging for the bot tower? Wow, they're actually going for the bot tower instead, trying to crash it with the grubs. Yep, gonna be able to get through it, and
Evan's gonna get taken out here for sure. Yeah, shut down for Roberto. But everyone else should make it out alive. Yeah, Stinky solos is great.
Bit of a suicide mission there, but it happens.
Yeah.
Now gonna look towards the Otacon here, as that's the only thing that can be claimed on the map there while the jungler is down. But this is probably gonna prompt SJSU to at least fight it. I mean, with Wen, there should be enough damage and zoning potential here.
I don't know if they can get there in time, to be honest.
I mean, I don't see the damage coming through yet until Bitna does get there finally. So we'll probably have to be given here. But
it is slow, but SJSU, I think, won't be able to get there in time.
No, they're
in the jungle, but I do think that they get this first. I think SJSU maybe have realized that. They're taking the Raptors. They're taking this red buff here. So Otacon will be claimed. That's an objective bounty claim for Washington State. Heavy just battling out here with Tamerico. We've seen this so much in the top lane. I don't think we've seen any solo kills here, and I don't think we're going to see one now. Went walking into this bush, jumped on by Yomi.
Keep it away!
the recall came in time, and so now it's Went versus Yomahime, and this should be an easy one for Went to pick up now. There we go. Quick kill for him. I mean, against a support, it's not much of a challenge. Heavy 1v1 here. Now it's a 2v3 as the players from Washington State gather. Shut down for Tamerico.
Oh,
the ultimate popped, and Mock should go down as well. That's a good defense from Washington State. I mean,
something about these tier 2s, man. Once we dive those tier 2s,
something about them, man.
We dive the tier 2s. It's a little bit of a disaster. That being said, Evan on top of Bitna here.
Oh, wow.
Cuts him down to size.
And he's going to walk right into this other tier 2. Jump onto Tamerico. Still taking damage from it.
Ramp up.
Can it be your downfall? Evan has to run away now.
Oh my god, no, the scatter of the week was done. Oh god, with the tier 2s, man.
Stinky jumps in. The ADC
here.
You do have good damage. There's the kill. Went claims the credit. They go in now, but again, this tier 2 here,
the flash.
ultimate raid boss, you can't get around it. So they won't be able to push for more than that. What a mess around the turrets this game. I mean, so
just a chill Thursday night.
Yeah, hard to evaluate really. I think we just can't say that SJSU is still in the lead. They're about 10,000 gold up right now. Stinky finding good damage to chip down Yomahime there, but the shields go up and the tier 2 protects them once again.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a brief look at the gold lead. Everyone is ahead, and really, you noticeably, it is a big mid and jungle diff right now, each respectively almost having 4k more. That's basically a whole item and a half of the stages of the game. So if they play around that, if they play together with the gold advantage, maybe not taking such scattered fights, such messy fights.
I think honestly, if they just take out this tower, they win.
Oh, and now we see on
Here we go. Here we go. There's the fight now. Jump in from Mock. Initiates it, but shutdown comes through from prepared.
I mean, they were trying to take a 2v2 in the ball lane there, but the problem is Went does not have any Zanyas or any protective items, so if they just targeted damage on him, he does go down very quick. That being said,
equalizes. Not exactly 1-for-1. Went falling for Yomahime, and Saxa does fall there. Turret finds a last hit on the Kevi, and that should be the end of him unless he can make it. No, he cannot make it away. Cannot escape the ever-present turret. Tamerico now, can you find another kill here? You just have to kind of focus on this wave.
Meanwhile, in ball lane, Bitna really sent it for the tier 2 there, and that is just death.
Yep, Bitna falls to Evan. A little bit close there, but still, that volley bear, too beefy, too chonky. You can't take him down that easily. And Baron Nashor is up, but Washington State have kind of been forced to focus on the waves that have been coming in now, with all those tier 3s gone, or tier 2s, sorry. 2 of the tier 3s are gone, but you still have 1 in the top lane.
Yeah, it's gonna have to play around the vision here. Is it gonna be a Baron for a Drake trade? Potentially on the cards here. I think Washington State are trying not to accept that. They believe they can still fight it at this point in the game. It's gonna be a bit hard, but could be doable. Now being scouted up by the blast, by the plant there.
SJSU have this coming fast, but we're still a decent ways away, so I think they will have to give up this Baron. Yeah, looks like they're gonna concede it for SJSU, and they actually didn't even position for the Drake, so that one's in the air too.
Oh, we've seen this happen last game. We can see it again. Oh,
SJSU, I mean, if they play their cards right, should be able to force this down, claim the win. There's the first kill there for Stinky. 4 more to go to shut this down entirely. You've got the minions here, these empowered minions, ready to take this tower. The last one, hopefully, that should cause them any trouble. Stinky on a killing spree. Low a little bit, but it shouldn't matter at this point. You've got other players to tank the damage for you. You just need to do your job. Chip down these other players, these remaining players here. The fight for the Nexus starts here. Heavy goes in, gets good damage. Repetto makes it out alive, but I mean, you're so far back now, you can't do anything against this. Facing 4 players, you have to admit defeat. SJSU should be able to claim this soon. It's just a matter of time. And they're
Oh.
hungry for the final kill. They want this bad. They're willing to risk their series, but it won't matter in the end. They're too strong, too fed, too much gold, even a little bit of BM. They're going to let the minions take it. GG's. SJSU take round 2, take the series, and take the #1 placement in this Playfly bracket.
Execution style, Noxian style with the finisher there. And that will conclude today's league match. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this last game of the Playfly normal season, I suppose, before we tune in the playoffs and spring break. We have a couple of games coming up now that some of our teams are making deep runs in the playoffs. I believe we have a Mountain West Game 4 League on Saturday, so please stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that is the grand final, I believe. So definitely tune into that one. It's going to be exciting. And stay tuned for when SJSU will make their playoff run in Playfly. See you guys soon.
Yep, bye. Thanks for coming to stream today. Wow, that was a